A new PlayStation model and a Pokemon Go horror game? It's GNT. Welcome to GNT, your one-stop shop for gaming news, movies, and whatever else we want to talk about. I'm Nick.
And I'm Brandon.
Today we're going to start off with just Dead Rising 4 came out and said they would no longer have the infamous time limit, which I think is kind of big. That was always one thing I hated about those games was you just want to go out and explore and like kill zombies and stuff, and it's counting down, all this stuff you have to get done, and I don't know, it just kind of adds some pressure. And
I think that's one of the things that made their games unique. Was your time management. Some people don't like that. Some people do, because they like to do speed runs. So then they like to challenge the time limit on top of that. So I myself not a big fan of the time limit thing, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, mine too.
I think that they should still have it as an option, because I do think there was a fan base out there that appreciated that fact or that option in the game, or that part of the game.
And it does make sense. Like if there's someone trapped by zombies, they can't sit there for days till you save them. So it does make sense, but I think this way would be more fun.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it worked into the context of the game, and that's, like I said, I thought that was always like a signature thing of the game. So I think if anything, they should just make it optional. Put a time limit in there, because it kind of, you're right, you couldn't just sit there forever. But in the context of these games, it was like, I believe in the first one, it was like a helicopter was coming for extraction. You had X amount of time, and so that's why you had to do things by a certain time. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see nonetheless.
Yeah. And then just recently, Goldeneye Source was released on Steam. It's a multiplayer remake, which is, I think it's basically like a Half-Life 2 mod, so it's using the engine that Half-Life 2 used. It's free, and I'll put the link in the description. I downloaded it today, and it was a lot of fun. It's just kind of nostalgic and just a fun multiplayer shooter.
Goldeneye is one of the best multiplayer games. I remember playing Golden Gun, or the one-shot kill, and you just would run around, and anybody could pick it up and play. It wasn't overcomplicated. It was run and gun. It was a lot of fun. Everybody had a good time.
Yeah.
Really, brought the multiplayer into its own. I think it was one of those defining games for like a multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
That really brought it into its own.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a fun free game you can download. Then some kind of big news. There was speculation about the new PS4 Slim model. There was some stuff kind of confirmed today. I think it's believed to be released on September 14th. There's a PlayStation meeting on September 7th, so I'm sure we'll find out more about then. But we do know that there is no UHD or 4K playback. It's a 500 gig hard drive. No optical output for audio anymore. HDMI only, which isn't huge, but just a little side thing. But yeah, it's kind of what I thought was weird that they didn't talk about it at E3 at all. I guess they were saving it for this PlayStation meeting, but
yeah, I think they're kind of smart in not doing the 4K and the HDR. With both Xbox and PlayStation or Sony developing another console, Project Scorpio and PlayStation Neo, you got to have the incentive. Not only is it going to be a more powerful system, but then it'll add this. If both systems can play the same games, you have the Xbox One S that has the 4K and the HDR, and if I don't have a VR headset, what's my draw to buy a Scorpio, other than it's the most powerful console that's going to be out? None, really, if it's going to play the same games. Now, if I have a PlayStation, there's there's no real need for me to get a PS4 Slim, but for people that are just going to get into a console, then that's another option for them. Sony's done this before with their other consoles, so
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a smart move. And then the PlayStation Neo, being an upgrade from the PlayStation 4, will still have the draw. So they're just slimming down the package for the fans, not making any additional features, and then they're going to bring out the Neo, which is going to be for the people that want to upgrade. I think that's a smart move.
Now, do you think, since the Xbox One S has 4K, do you think there's a risk that people getting a new console now would pick that one over the PS4 Slim?
I don't think, because the problem is I don't know if much of the consumer base has 4K TVs,
Yeah.
or on top of that, 4K TVs with HDR, because that's an additional feature on top of 4K. And then, that's the biggest factor. Because, if you don't have that 4K TV, that 4K and that HDR is going to do nothing for you.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I think that, like I said, I think it's a smart move. PlayStation just bringing out a slim PS4. For new people, I've heard rumors that they already stopped production of the old PS4, but that's all speculation. I did see the pictures of the new PS4. It did look a lot slimmer.
Yeah.
As far as aesthetics, I'm a pretty big fan of the regular PS4. It's a pretty small console as it is. Has some pretty good looks to it.
And it didn't have the big problem like the Xbox One did. I mean, when it came out, people were like, wow, this is big. I don't know. I don't think PS4 had that as much.
Oh, and no, it's way smaller than the Xbox One. Now, the Xbox One S, I would say, is probably the same size or a little smaller. I think it is about the same size, but it's the PS4 is deeper than the Xbox One S. But in the whole grand scheme of things, it's more, I guess, about your visual profile that you see, which it's relatively small.
Yeah. And then more PlayStation news. The membership prices did go up. It's going to go up to $59.99 for 12 months and $24.99 for 3 months. The monthly plan will remain the same at $10, which I don't think it will really affect membership that much.
Well, I think that they're also getting ready to release a new update that will improve the features of their whole UI, which has been kind of their shortfall in my opinion. If comparing the two consoles, the user interface for Xbox Live has always been a little easier to use than the PlayStation. I think if PlayStation can refine that and make it easier, then it would be easily to justify the increase in monthly membership, which also that goes hand in hand. If you're gonna, improve these things and people expect that, they have to pay to get that stuff done. I mean, there's a lot of testing, a lot of tweaking. The Xbox One, I can remember it had a lot of issues at the beginning that they had to work out, and that costs money. And if the players want the best experiences, they have to kind of pony up the money so these manufacturers can do that for them.
Now, on the other side, now that you're paying up more money, you better see some improvement, and I see something different.
Right, and I think I think with the new update that they had just put into beta, you will see that. And I think, like I said, from what they said, it's a whole new user interface. So I think if they couple that with it improving the online aspect of it, I think it'll be easily justifiable.
Okay. And then we have a new AR game, which it's called Night Terrors, and there's a trailer for it. And it looked like you walk around your house at night in the dark, and you're supposed to wear headphones. And I guess, I'm not sure exactly what happens. I think there is like a story mode to it. You're supposed to save this little girl or something, and there are ghosts and all kinds of freaky stuff that happen. And I even saw, which I thought was kind of cool, creepy and cool. It will like send you messages, like creepy messages, like you get a text like you're gonna die tonight and stuff like
Oh, wow.
just pretty hardcore, but
For some people might say, oh, "Who's doing this again?"
not this again.
Yeah, I thought I dealt with this last night. But yeah, if they do it right, where it's contained to the confines of your house, you're not bothering other people, but yet you're up, you're active, you're enjoying an interactive experience. I think that's good.
Yeah.
We had talked about this in a previous episode about kind of the invasion of privacy that Pokemon Go has created. I don't think that they thought it through completely or thought that it would be as big as it was.
No. Yeah.
I know there's a lot of videos up on YouTube that show confrontations between people that, don't get it or don't really care to get it, that think that these people shouldn't be doing this, and then the people that are, really not doing any harm, but at the same time, I mean, it's a fine line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just don't think the creators thought about that whenever they were making it, because some of these places where people are going, people, it's other people's property. It's interrupting things. I mean, we saw the video of all the people rushing through New York City to go to the park
Yeah.
to get the Pokemon, and it was like mass hysteria. I mean,
I don't think they thought it would be that big, and maybe also part of it is I don't think they thought people would be as hardcore as they were. But yeah, this looks cool. And I honestly thought after Pokemon Go, I didn't think we'd see much more like this. I thought it would die off, but here's another cool game coming out, so maybe it'll keep going.
yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's a lot of potential there, and I think if they think it through, which it sounds like, like I said, if you're just going and walking around your house and stuff, it's cool. And then if you have a friend's house you can go over to, then you can experience in a different way.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're not creating havoc, you're not hurting anyone. It's, a controlled space that you're having this experience in. And so I think that that's a far better approach to the whole altered reality game than Pokemon Go was.
Yeah. And then Battlefield developer DICE has confirmed that you can drive the train, which has been, I think, in all the trailers so far. It's classified as a behemoth vehicle, which I think there's going to be a few types. I think there's a Zeppelin and a tank. And it holds 6 players, including the driver, and has fireable turrets. So it's kind of a good confirmation that the big thing they've been showing off constantly, you can control. And
yeah, as to what level of control you have of a train will be interesting to see. I mean I'm sure you can slow down and speed up,
yeah.
and it would be neat if you could cause, like, if your direct actions could cause a derailment, or another person's actions, like if they drove a tank onto the tracks, could derail a train. I mean, that kind of interaction would be really cool, would really bring another level of destruction to the battlefield. No pun intended. Actually, there was.
Oh, maybe. And then the new Deus Ex game came out this week, or is coming out this week?
It's coming out, this week. It's Mankind Divided, the sequel to Human Revolution that came out, I believe, in 2014, maybe 2013. But it's getting a lot of hype. The hype's building up for it. It really looks to be a gorgeous game. Offers the players a lot of opportunities to get through various parts of the games however they see fit, whether it be through direct combat, stealth, or even talk your way through tough scenarios, which players really appreciate that freedom. So be anxious to see. They've even said that boss fights, you can complete them without killing the boss. So
that's cool.
That was one of the things in Human Revolution you could get the achievement, but you had to kill the bosses.
Oh,
You had to
okay.
use lethal force against the bosses. So now in this one, they're saying that you don't have to do that to complete the boss battle. So
Cool.
that'll be interesting to see how how you do that, how you go about that. And it looks like they've added some customization to the weapons and more augmented abilities. So it'll be really anxious to see how this one is. Like I said, so far it's seemed to be getting pretty good reviews, but time will tell, and we'll see how it does as far as once it gets into the players' hands.
Hey, cool. All right, so leave a comment below and your thoughts. Add to this discussion, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Or Pokemon No.
I say Pokemon no.
You're right, that was Pokemon No. I made that up.
No.
You're right, that was Pokemon No. 2 Pokemon Go players were caught trespassing in the Toledo Zoo's live tiger exhibit. They were charged with criminal trespassing, but they